And we're back with a new build, and this is going to be a little bit different than usual since this isn't a gaming rig, so stay tuned to find out what it is. Okay, since this isn't a gaming PC, what is it then? Well, it's going to be a production machine for a friend of mine who is called CRYOGENIC. If you don't know it and you're not from the Netherlands or from that scene, here's some clips, but bear in mind it's gonna be loud. So here we go. Okay, so with that out of the way, we know who he is, we know what he does. I got a request from this guy. He is having some problems with his PC, making new tracks, making his programs crash all the time. So we need to make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. So what I have here in front of me are the parts that I will be using for this build. Since it isn't a gaming PC and he doesn't do graphical rendering, we don't need a GPU, so please leave that out of the question. For the CPU, I've chosen the new 10th gen 10700K. This is because it's a 8-core 16-thread processor. It can boost up to 5.1 gigahertz, so it's an absolute beast. And the reason I chose Intel because it works better with his programs that he's using. So that's why I opted for Intel. We're gonna plant that in an Asus ROG Strix Z490E gaming. I know this is branded as a gaming, and we're not building a gaming PC, but the thing is, he needs a lot of USB ports, and this board has it all, so that's really nice. To cool the CPU, we're using the Noctua NH-U12S. Since the Intel CPU doesn't come with a stock cooler, we have to cool this baby down, and we're gonna use the Noctua cooler for that. We're using the Cooler Master MasterBox MB511. I've told you already everything about this case in previous week's video. If you haven't, the card is right here in the corner, or in this corner, I think. It's somewhere. I don't care where, it's somewhere. A really nice budget case, not too expensive, plenty of airflow, so really good for this build. For storage, bear in mind this is only project storage. We've opted for a Seagate 2TB drive, so he can store all his data on, his finished projects and everything like that. He just recently bought a new boot drive, so I will be installing that later when I deliver my PC, of this PC. Since he's currently working on some projects, it's nice for him to try to continue to work with what he has. And I will build it in when I deliver the PC. So I have no boot drive for building this right now, but eventually it will be in there. For RAM, I've opted for Corsair 16 gigabytes of RAM. 2x8 at 3200 megahertz, so that should be enough. If it isn't enough, we can always upgrade it, since there are 2 more DIMM slots available on this motherboard. And for a power supply, I took the Seasonic GX550. It's a 550 watt power supply with a 80+ gold rating. So that's really good, plenty of power since we won't be using any GPU. So with all that out of the way, let's start the build. Okay, so here we are, moment of truth. Let's see if this thing posts. So I hooked up a monitor to give you also the view if it's working. So we're switching on the PSU. I already see some LEDs on the I/O shield and here on the chipset as well. So let's have a look in 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, everything turned on and we came past post. So I'm going to wrap this thing up and package it, and then I'm going to deliver it. Unfortunately, he didn't want to go on camera, so that makes it that this is the end of the video. If you like this video, if you like the build, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, just give it a dislike. Make sure you subscribe for future videos because there's more coming. And leave a comment down below what you think of this build, even if it's without a dedicated GPU. So, see you guys next week. Bye!